Okay, look, we need to talk about this past weekend because we started off with a solid state of play, then we progressed into a fantastic summer games festival, and we ended it off with a peak Xbox game showcase. We as gamers, whether you PlayStation, PC, or Xbox, man, we are eating, man. We are eating well. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on the Xbox Game Showcase because everybody was watching Xbox closely regarding the big E word, exclusivity. Welcome to the low-key POV and let's talk about it. Now, unless you were living under a rock and you didn't watch the showcase, on Sunday at the Xbox Game Showcase, Microsoft reintroduced exclusivity to the Xbox platform. Wow. Who would have thought in 2026 Xbox was going to push exclusivity again? Now, this is partial exclusivity. And what do I mean by partial exclusivity? Not every game that was showcased at the showcase was made exclusive to the Xbox platform. Only two games were. And those two games were Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. Those are the two games that they stated will be Xbox console exclusives. Now, why these two games? Now, this is my opinion. Gears of War E-Day, it makes sense. Why? Because this is the story that takes place before the events that led up to the original trilogy. And making it exclusive to the Xbox platform is sort of a love letter to hardcore fans of the Gears franchise and Xbox fans who were there day one on the platform where the franchise was born. So it makes sense. Why Clockwork Revolution? Simple, it's a new IP. And start off with a new IP and build upon it. And it looks to me like Xbox has a lot of confidence in Clockwork Revolution that it might move hardware sales as well as Game Pass subscriptions. Who knows? Look, the gameplay reveal looked and the story reveal, it looks quite interesting and it's on top. It's like really high on my anticipation list. So yeah, those are my reasons why I think they started off with making these two games exclusive. But is it enough? We'll get to that a bit later. Now, also why this is a partial exclusivity. Like Matt Booty told Gamertag Radio, the key point Booty wanted to drive home when speaking with Gamertag Radio was that just because there will once again be Xbox published games that aren't released on any other console, that doesn't mean everything developed by its studios will no longer come to PS5 and Switch 2. Multiplayer and live service games will continue to be released on other platforms. Wise as those are the games that rely on big player bases to survive. I agree 100%. When it comes to multiplayer and your live service games, keep it multi-platform. Because the more players you have, the longer the game is going to survive. It goes further on to say that if we've promised something to players already, we're going to honor that promise. Booty said in reference to the announced PS5 Forza and Halo releases, and then we're going to make the right decision and not the fastest decision. We're going to keep thinking about this going forward, and our principle is when we announce the date, we announce the platforms. So it's going to be a case by case basis, but we're going to be clear. Right. So according to this, like I said, everything that they've already said or they've already notified the consumers and the gamers out there that what is going to be multi-platform, they're going to stick to their guns. They're not going to go back on that. And here also it seems that they are addressing some transparency issues that people have been having with Xbox. And they're basically stating here that not when the game is revealed, but when when they announce a date that when the game will be available, they will announce the platform. So that will give them time also to strategize on what is best. Should they make it multi-platform or should they keep it exclusive to the platform? So now, why does case by case sound familiar? Why does it sound familiar? And this is why I say you gotta take that where they say is not a timed exclusive with a grain of salt, because back in 2021, I believe, Sarah Bond, for her part, appeared on stage in 2021 in front of a banner that said Starfield would be an Xbox exclusive. Then in 2023, Bethesda Todd Howard said Starfield was a greater game because it's on Xbox and not PlayStation. Then in April 2026, Microsoft released Starfield on the PS5. This history has made some people question Microsoft's commitment to its statements. That's not out of the ordinary though, as many companies regularly pledge to do one thing, then they do another in response to changing landscapes or for any number of reasons. So again, that's why I say take it with a grain of salt, because we remember what happened to Starfield. They said it was an Xbox exclusive. What happened then? A few years later, they decided to make it multi-platform. This is why I say the case-by-case basis, you need to take it with a grain of salt. But again, here's my opinion. I think that at the time of the Activision deal, why PlayStation was able to sign off and agree to that deal is because Microsoft and PlayStation came to an agreement that certain games would come to their platform. And I think somehow they are waiting for that deal or something to run out, and then they might go to full exclusivity again. But who knows? Because at the same time, I think why they're doing the partial exclusivity, like Polygon encapsulates it perfectly, Xbox's return to exclusivity is just a pure exercise for now. Meaning, they want to see if Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution can move the needle enough to really change the policy, the exclusivity policy. So they're testing the waters now. They want to see if it's going to increase Game Pass subscriptions, if it's going to increase the sale of Xbox hardware. We know Project Helix is on the way. They're taking a chance. Because it's been now a couple of years now that the message has been driven that Xbox is a platform, it's an ecosystem. Anything can be an Xbox. To me, yes, Xbox is making all these drastic changes. They're saying all these nice and sweet things. They're doing these great things like cutting the price of Game Pass. But to me personally, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the quality of games that they put out on their platform. Because like CEO of Xbox Asha Sharma stated to Bloomberg, we are increasingly becoming a platform. And in order to be a platform, you must have exclusive content and services. We're looking at that very closely. I think that we have to be very thoughtful about each title and how we want to think about it and learn from similar cases in the industry, and that's what we're doing. Again, Xbox is a platform. They still see themselves as a platform, right? And that's not going to change. I think that is still the game plan. But at the same time, I think Xbox is becoming aware that they do need exclusive content in order to incentivize people to stay on the platform or to bring in new players into the platform and ecosystem. And I think they are becoming very aware of the fact that if you have all your product, your IP available on the rival console, for example, the PlayStation, what is the need for players to join the Xbox ecosystem? So they are becoming very aware of that. But like I said, the end of the day for me personally, it's coming down to the quality of the product. The quality of the product is going to indicate whether or not people should join or whether or not they will retain and grow their current consumer base on the Xbox platform or Microsoft ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, right? Because we know the track record from 2021 onwards with Starfield and all that. It wasn't great. It was not great. There were not consistent hits. There were misses. There were hits. They put a lot of the IP that they could have held exclusive to the Xbox brand, and which would have actually grown the Xbox brand, I think, personally. But they were missteps. They made everything multi-platform, and it's going to be interesting to see how they actually deal with this case-by-case basis, because we know we have to take it with a grain of salt. But with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you think, what are your thoughts on the whole exclusivity matter regarding Xbox games? Do you think they should go multi-platform, they should stay multi-platform, or do you think they should bring exclusivity back to all of the games? Or are you fine with just having games here and there being exclusive? And do you think that the 2 games that were mentioned is enough at this time, at this moment in time, to drive hardware sales and Xbox Game Pass subscriptions? Is Gears of War E-Day, which we're getting in October, that's basically the only exclusive game for this year. And then Clockwork is only coming next year. So is it enough? Time will tell, guys. Time will tell. But with that being said, guys, do let me know what was your favorite showcase over the weekend. What was your most anticipated game that you are looking most forward to? And yeah, hit that subscribe button, guys, if you want more gaming discussion videos, first impressions, and retrospectives. Yeah, man, I do appreciate the support, guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for those that continuously comment on the videos. I do see it and I enjoy the engagement. So keep the comments coming, guys. And toggle the notification bell so that you know when I go live. Not live, but when I post the next video. And until then, guys, happy gaming. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.